Hi, friends and fellow Earth Angels. It's Gladys, and welcome back to my Pick a Card reading. And today's Pick a Card reading is going to be themed health and healing. So I am going to start off with a message from Archangel Raphael, the angel of healing. And then I'm going to get into all aspects of the self with a capital S. So I will take Raphael's message and I'll expand on it in the physical with the Chakra Wisdom Oracle deck. And then my intention will be to go into the emotional body and what you need to know emotionally. And then mentally, we'll go into the mental card with the Power of Surrender deck. And then spiritually, what you're activating or what will be activating in the spiritual body with the sacred geometry activations. So my intention is this is a whole body healing. Mind, body, spirit, emotions in all ways. So I'm going to start by opening space, inviting in all your guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, God, source, creator of the universe, and all his holy beings of light who would like to assist with this guidance today. And I'm going to ask that the messages that come through be for your best and highest good, and the best and highest good of all concerned. So you'll get to pick from pile 1, pile 2, or pile 3. And if you are not interested in seeing how the cards fly out, you can skip ahead. I'm going to put the timestamps for each reading in the description below. And yeah, that's it. Let's begin. Okay, so Raphael, what overall message do you have for pile number 1? Overall message do you have for pile number 1? Okay, so we have this. And pile number 2, what overall message do you have for pile number 2? And number 3. Wow. Okay, so there's 2 here for number 3. All right. And now my intention is I'm going to ask Archangel Raphael to expand on that with the Chakra Oracle deck to the physical body, pile 1. To the physical body, pile number 2. Pile number 2 need to know. And pile number 3. Does pile 3 need to know? All right, pile number 3. And then we have the emotions. What does pile number 1, let's connect with their emotional body. It's the most important message for those who choose pile number 1. Let's see, just make it nice and clear. What message card? Okay. 1 and pile number 2. What emotional support? Pile number 2. Okay. And emotional support for pile number 3. Mental support. Mental body for pile number 1. Mental support. Pile number 1. And mental support, pile number 2. And mental support for pile number 3. Okay, and we will finish with spiritual support. Spiritual support for pile number 1. Spiritual support for pile number 2. And finally, spiritual support for pile number 3. All right. Oh, let me just take 2. Pile number 3 is going to be a long one. All right, so let me set these up for you. All right, friends, so let me get these ready for you. All right, so those of you who have stuck with me, and maybe you haven't made your decision yet, give yourself a moment. All right, let's begin. And welcome to those who chose pile number 1. Take in the messages that resonate and dump the rest. Okay. So we'll start with Archangel Raphael's message, organic foods. Love it. And his message says, Dear Archangel Raphael, thank you for supporting my desire to consume and use organic products. I love it. So we're starting off with physical health, and we pulled physical health starts with organic foods. Now, I'm also feeling like Raphael is basically saying with the organic foods, I almost feel like he's saying get down to the basics. Fruits and vegetables, healthy proteins, whatever that is for you, lots of water. I feel like for many people who are guided to watch my channel, you're in the Earth Angel Collective. So maybe you're empathic, you're highly sensitive, maybe you're a caregiver, a healer, an intuitive in some way. And I cannot stress enough how much my intuition has developed since I've made my own dietary changes. So when I first started doing this, I was drinking the coffee, I was heavily eating meats, I was a sweet eater, dairy eater. I mean, I did it all, and I was still able to channel and do my work. But I have to say, since I've made my dietary changes, that have worked for me. So I'm not here to preach about what to eat and what not to eat. I mean, it's really a process of elimination and what works for you. So I feel like since I've made dietary changes, and again, I think this is something we all can agree on, processed foods and highly packaged, preserved food isn't the way to go for really anyone. Mental health, emotional health, consuming large amounts of alcohol and stuff like that. I mean, that's just not good on your body to begin with. So a very good doctor will tell you everything in moderation, right? So I feel like Raphael is saying getting back to organic foods eating healthier, making mindful choices with what you're consuming. I know I've mentioned in other videos that I can eat certain foods certain times of the month and other times I can't. And that's just me being hyper vigilant with my body. And so I feel like this is the start of the message where if you're struggling with that addictive tendencies with food, emotional eating, things like that, I feel like Archangel Raphael is saying call on him and he will support you in that. So, all right. Impasse. At an impasse. It's interesting. So this is the sacral chakra. The sacral chakra is the chakra that supports our joy, our pleasure. The Tao call it the Dantian, which is the energy or chi powerhouse in the body, and the gut, right? And so I feel like the message is here is saying focus on the sacral chakra. Now, I just did my weekly Sunday reading, and it was heavily geared towards the sacral chakra and putting energy there. If you have not seen that yet, at the end of this video, at the very end on the screen, there'll be a link. You can click on that to my recent Sunday video. There's a whole pile about the sacral chakra. I'm just gonna, these cards are pretty new to me, so I'm just gonna grab the book real quick and just take a peek at what the book says here. So key ideas for this card is change of direction, regroup and refocus, protection from harm, and guardian angels. I love it. It says, this is a reroute, not an ending. The path is blocked and you're at an impasse, but the goal is still there. Do not wait for your present situation to change. Stay focused and find another path. Interesting. So I feel guided to say that Archangel Raphael could see that maybe the path that you've been going down isn't working for you anymore, and maybe it's time to make different adjustments. And if this is like actual like physical things that are going on in your life, the food you're eating can really affect your energy. And so Raphael is saying, like, if you're struggling with trying to problem solve or make things happen, or you're feeling like you're stuck and you don't know which way to go, pull back and maybe take care of your physical health. Check in. Are you drinking your water? Are you getting your exercise? And I mean, like, just moderate exercise, going for a walk every day could be more beneficial. Are you getting energy work and body work? So there's some science behind the idea that empaths, intuitive people, actually benefit more from energy work and self-care and healing than grinding it out every day for an hour in the gym. So there needs to be some balance, you know, because sometimes, like, when you're grinding out in the gym, it's like you're chasing that wild horse. There's like temporary relief, but that's also burning more energy. And if you're depleted to begin with, check in with your food, check in with your water. Are you overdoing it? Are you doing too much? And I feel like Raphael is saying, call on me and I can assist you. So let's go into the emotional health. And we've got judgment. I love it. So the card says, I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. I love this here. It's perfect because the judgment card here is coming up. I feel like the message is you can't compare yourself to others. What other people are doing, their own progress, what works for them. I know on social media and in the news and you know, really anywhere you look in the supermarkets, it's very heavily into like fitness. Anywhere you look, it's heavily into fitness, and that can create judgments on yourself. Your shoulds. I should be doing this. I should do that. I need to do this. I need to do that. And sometimes pulling back and staying in your own lane and getting away from all these shoulds and what everybody else is doing can be more beneficial for your emotional health. Especially, like I said, if you're grinding it out and you're doing this work and you're feeling like it's not working for you and you're at an impasse, again, pull back and just check in with your emotional health and see if you're judging yourself or judging others. Sometimes it's hard to really face our shadows, and it's easy to kind of project that energy on the other people, like, well, I can't eat healthy because my husband, my children, my family don't support me, or they don't eat they don't eat what I eat, or I have to, whatever that is. So sometimes it can be in an impasse, and it's pulling out of that energy and going within the self and facing the shadow and saying, okay, where is this coming from? I know the collective is going through a massive undertaking, a massive shift in clearing our ancestral DNA, meaning old beliefs, old ways of doing things, old programs. It is massive right now with the collective. And I'm seeing in my own clients and myself, we're seeing a lot of programs and a lot of patterns that are from our parents and grandparents. So there's a lot of shifting happening in this emotional body, which is eventually affecting us physically. So I feel like this card is saying step back from judging yourself of what you're doing and you're not doing, and be kind. Be kind and loving to yourself, because again, it's not helping your emotional state. So in the mental, interesting, the mental body, we have surrender to non-action. Now is the time to be still and not act. Simply breathe and focus on your own power. Let others come to you. Again, here's where the energy of the empath comes in. And with judgment of yourself and others will rob you of your joy. It will definitely rob you of your pleasure. It's kind of like the weeds that get into your garden and just suffocate and strangle the roots. And so if you are feeling down, if you're feeling weighted, if you're feeling just tired, it's like a vibration that we're in right now. We're just about to enter the phase of the full moon. So it's a releasing time. So this is a perfect time for this video to come out to support you on the next steps. So surrender to non-action. I feel like this is the judgment here into what you're doing and what you're not doing. If you're feeling like you're at an impasse, I feel like pulling back and going within yourself, going within your intuition. And again, not necessarily chasing the wild horse. Like, Gladys, what more do I need to do? What do I do? Where do I have to go? And I feel like the universe, especially Raphael, is saying time out, take a break, pull back, and reevaluate what's working and what's not working. Surrender to non-action, meaning stop what you're doing that's not working and open up to God, bringing the ideas and the support to you. I can't even tell you how many times, I feel overwhelmed with a problem or a difficulty or just something mentally that I'm going on, and I just spend hours in my head, and it's just completely draining. It definitely robs you of your joy. And so to be able to go into your own physical body and check in with yourself and not necessarily continue to keep pushing yourself. I feel like maybe those of you who are watching this reading may be tired. Just tired. I'm just tired of saying like, I'm just tired of the same old every day. I'm just tired of feeling this way. I'm tired of going through these experiences. That's where we're at this impasse right now. And again, it's almost like this, he's kind of saying, stop. And Raphael, as I was saying in the beginning of the reading, is saying, get back to basics. Food, water, exercise, joy, happiness. Be around people or things that make you laugh. I've been enjoying comedy lately. Healthy, wholesome, really funny, comedy. And I really have. I mean, I always have a million things to do, but there have been points where I've had to pull back and just kind of take a break and reset. So surrender to the non-action in your mental body. Your mental body meaning stop overthinking, analyzing, forcing something to happen, wondering how, what if. Pull back and know that you're in a space of non-action right now. Now is the time to reevaluate. Was that somewhere? Oh, that was in the chakra book. Refocus, reevaluate where you're at right now. Because come September, things are going to shift greatly. And I know a lot of people are in a place right now where you're, especially with this full moon, you are fed up with situations and experiences that have been repetitive in your life, and it's time for you to change direction. There's some readers out there that say this full moon that we're having right now is like if you're tired of it, if it's the same repeated patterns over and over that are unhealthy, people, places, things, and ideas, it has got to go. I sit with clients, who have lost loved ones in a traumatic way or suddenly. And, these experiences for them and for me to sit through and channel for them, it makes you realize that life is short. So ask yourself, what is robbing you of your joy? And how can you take your power back, refocus, and change directions on things that do bring you joy? And finally, I love it. Number 11 for the number 1 pile. The message is belief. And it says the frequency of belief supports our sense of self-worth based on our gifts and talents and a strong connection to source. So God is saying, your divine beings of light are saying, believe. Believe in the power of the divine. Believe that what you're going through is part of the process. It's making you stronger. It's like when you go to the gym and you up level. Maybe you do an incline on the treadmill, or maybe you up weights, or maybe you do a little extra, something different. You're guaranteed to feel sore because you've up leveled, right? A lot of you are in this space, but it's what I like to call the good sore. And this is the inner work. Like, this is the stuff, this is the nitty gritty, getting into it that will actually make you stronger in the long run. Because really, I cannot say enough how, as intuitives and empathic people, earth angels of the planet, our mission here is to learn through our own self-healing and then teach that to others. So your people are coming. Right now, it's time for you to get your own physical health, your own structure, your own regimen, your own disciplines, whatever works for you. It's now is the time to do that. And again, if you're feeling way out of balance, it's more of an example that it's now time to buckle down, focus on your own journey, your own path, and what works for you. I love it. And believe. All right. So those of you who chose pile 1, thank you so much for watching. And again, I just did a weekly Sunday reading, so stay to the end of the video or scroll ahead to the end of the video and you'll see that link. You'll see the subscribe button. And if you're watching these videos and you know somebody in your life that could benefit from this, maybe you watched this and it's not necessarily resonating with you, but you know somebody it can resonate for, somebody that you love, please share this video with them, because I would really love to support as many people as possible. And I really can't do that without you. So thank you so much for watching. Okay. Those of you who chose pile 2, welcome. 2. The message I'm getting right now, 2 means have faith, everything's going to be okay. All right, let's begin. So the first message from Archangel Raphael is, Jesus, the divine healer. Perfect. Goes along with have faith. Everything's going to be okay. So the message says, Dear Jesus, thank you for your divine healing power and presence. So this card is supposed to be connected to physical health. So maybe some of you out there are going through physical health challenges. Maybe it's an illness, maybe it's a disease, maybe it's pain in your body. And I feel like I'm being guided to say to call in the Master, Lord Jesus, whatever that means to you. Jesus isn't always connected to like the religious aspect. For me, I was born and raised Catholic, but Jesus for me in a lot of ways is a master healer, and he's one of my guides. So when I'm struggling with like physical pain or physical illnesses in my body, I invite Jesus in to assist me with the guidance to the right people, to the right pockets of time for rest, to the right foods, whatever, or the right support system. You can even ask Jesus. You could do a meditation where you ask Jesus, you invite him in and ask him to put his golden energy throughout your body for healing. So I always see Jesus's energy when he gives energy to me. It's yellow with like flecks of gold in it. It is brilliantly amazing. So again, with the have faith of number 2, Jesus coming in. Jesus also, and Raphael also is the angel of miracles. They both work miracles. So maybe some of you who chose pile number 2 are feeling like you need a miracle, or you feel like you need some guidance and support. So remember that you can always call on these two massive beings of light. So interesting. So we also have here for the physical, the energy of perception. How we perceive things. Again, we have more green here, green for healing, deep, deep, deep healing. And then also too, this is connected to the heart chakra. One of the messages I'm getting right now, it feels from Jesus and Raphael, is let love in. Love can heal in a lot of ways. So maybe you're in a place where maybe you're feeling lonely or sad. Maybe you're feeling like people don't understand what you're going through, or you feel like maybe you're the one that's helped everybody and you're going through challenges right now and you're feeling alone. I feel like the message right here is about perception. Shift your perception to what is, to what could be, and really how you want to feel. So with the laws of manifesting, it's one thing to think about things, and it's another thing to feel it in your body. So you can think, I'm abundant, I'm prosperous, I'm healthy, I'm strong. But if you're not feeling it in your body, it's a complete mismatch. And it actually can just drain you even more and make you feel more hopeless, or it can be more daunting. So by inviting in the Archangel Raphael and Jesus and asking them to show you in your body what health feels like, what joy feels like, what love feels like, what connection feels like, what oneness feels like. So one of my favorite things that I like to do is I like to meditate on words that make me feel really good. I have a whole list of feel-good words, and I think sometimes sitting with those words and meditating them can really shift it in your body. So maybe some of you right now just need a time out and a break to sit, to shift the energy. So some of the words that I find powerful to sit in is celebration, patience, cherish, unconditional love. What else? Those are the powerful ones for me. So for the word cherish, I love that word. And so I go there and I sit with, okay, what in the physical supports me with feeling cherished? Well, the sunshine certainly does. Gifts, when people have gifted me with things, that makes me feel cherished and thought about and loved. Again, not as a monetary thing, but the act of somebody gifting something for me and me receiving is just a beautiful experience. Patience. I ask Jesus and Raphael to download me with their definition of patience, or ask God to download you with his definition of patience and what that looks like. And you might be guided to a memory, a feeling, an emotion, love, unconditional love, whatever that means. Maybe you haven't felt love in a while. Maybe this is why the heart chakra thing is coming up, and they're saying like, hey, now your perception may be off. Maybe you're focusing on the wrong things. And this being part of the heart chakra, I mean, there's no coincidence. We have butterflies here with transformation. We have birds that represent freedom to me. Oh, freedom. That is another word that I absolutely love. And when I sit with the word of freedom, I feel like my wings getting big and strong. And then I just allow that to fill my body to overflowing. And then when I'm feeling it, I say, God, more of this in my life, or something even better. And it's again no coincidence that we have this emerald green stone right here, because we have invoked the Archangel Raphael in our reading. So Raphael is the angel of miracles. He's the angel of healing. He helps us clear addictive tendencies and addictions. And I'm almost feeling guided to say right now that those of you who chose pile number 2, you're being asked to work on your own health and healing. So you may have been expending a lot of energy on other people, what they're doing, how do I help them, what do they need? And I feel like Jesus and Raphael is saying, send us to them. Send us to them, and then work with us on your own journey. Because right now, with the Earth Angel Collective, we're going through a massive undertaking of our mental, emotional, and spiritual health, because God is utilizing us as an example. God knows that people need to see. They need to see the light. It's not working anymore where Earth Angels are trying to go in and fix and save and change and make better. That's not working anymore, because the Earth Angels are so sensitive. We're getting enveloped in it, and we're getting consumed by it and triggered by it, really, which is a sign for us to pull back and go into our own bodies. So again, I'm a reader that shares personal experiences and shares personal stories and things that are going on with me, because I'm an example of transformation and what God can do. So this is why that's part of like why I'm doing these readings and putting it out there. I think it's really important to know that you're not alone in the world, and that other people are going through these experiences, but they're just not talking about it. So I can be the voice for the collective and hopefully make you feel more connected and less alone. Your perception may be right now that you're alone in your physical illness, in your pain, in your sadness, whether it's physically, emotional, mental, or spiritual. And I'm here to say that you're not alone, that you're going through a metamorphosis, and God is utilizing you. Because really on a soul level, you agreed to this. And sometimes I myself say, why did I agree to this? This is too hard. But, in the long run, I am so much more deeply and more genuinely happier than when I was living in my sleeper world, unawakened, unconscious, and just spinning my wheels. Okay, so let's see emotionally. Okay, so in the emotional, again, the orange comes up, which would make me think sacral chakra, joy, pleasure, and the message is denial. I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with the insight of awareness. Again, perception is everything. So I feel like I want to say, like, what are you in denial about? What do you have to face? Sometimes it's, Gladys, I know I have to make some major life decisions. I have to make some massive changes in my life that I know may feel or appear to be painful. And I feel like God is saying, and Raphael and Jesus is saying, we got your back. If you're in an experience right now and you feel like you're up against a wall and it seems like you're not getting better and there's no way out, I feel like your guides are asking you to pull back and just reevaluate. Your perception may be in the negative. It may be you're seeing things from an ego perspective. Yeah, I'm going to say it. Maybe you're in the ego, because that's happening now. So what are you in denial about? There are definitely some shadow things that I had to look at. over this last year and face that denial. And so for me, one of the simple things, I mean, there's so much more, is I was in denial that I needed structure in my life and that I had a very weak foundation, and my physical back kept getting pulled out over and over and over again. And I was in denial. I was in denial, thinking in my mind, like, oh yeah, everything's great and I'm financially secure and money's coming in and all these great things. And, I was in denial because when something would happen, like maybe a bill would come out of nowhere or something would come up, I would go into complete panic mode. So even though I may have been physically financially secure, let's say, mentally and emotionally, I still had these programs of lack and not enough. And so I was in denial about that. So I had to face it. I had to face my financial fears. And my physical body was telling me that I had a weak foundation. And so this last year, I've had to face it. I've had to work on it. I've had to really look at my finances and my structure and my schedule and my time off and my self-care and all these things, because it really is easier to just dive into other people's problems and deny what's going on with yourself. So if you don't like what's happening in your world, or maybe you're dealing with repeated patterns over and over again, check in with yourself. Ask yourself, how am I doing this to myself? Am I bullying myself? Am I criticizing myself? Am I ignoring my needs? Am I in fear? Do I have these old programs that are holding me back? Especially when many of you are on the cusp of expanding and growing. So so for mental health right here, again, we have this beautiful color again, the sunflower. So this kind of, for me, I'm thinking the solar plexus, which is in your empowerment, and this is your joy, your sacral, and we have heart chakra here. So the card says, surrender low self-esteem. And the message, you deserve success, love, and abundance. Set an intention to identify and release any remnants of low self-esteem. So again, it goes along beautifully with this denial, facing your shadows, worth, and value. I love how they use these cards here. So maybe meditating on the word success and what that means to you. For everybody, it's different. Success for me is support. It is financial security. It's a really good credit score. Success for me is me feeling healthy in my body, me feeling beautiful and radiant and magnetic. Oh, magnetic is another word you can meditate on. Go back and write these words down and just kind of put them up if they're resonating with you. And remind yourself, and that's not part of that self-discipline or that self-structure, is to really face these things and stop pretending. Stop pretending that you're not sick. Stop pretending that you're not eating the right food. Stop pretending that you're not taking care of your spiritual health. All these things. And the root of it, I feel like for the mental health, is the self-esteem. When you're feeling lit up from the inside out, you're going to call all the beautiful things to you. That's that part of being magnetic. And so I feel like your guides right here, the divine, kind of want to shine a light on that. The self-esteem, when we're not feeling good about ourselves, it's easy to want to overdo for other people because of the reward we get for it. They'll say, I love you, thank you so much, I really appreciate it. And it really is a beautiful thing to volunteer, to help people, to support people. But when you're in denial of your own needs and you're now passive aggressively acting out, like, fine, I'm not going to do the dishes, or I'm not going to cook dinner, or I'm not going to, answer the phone next time. And really, they're your teacher. They're showing you that these are the things that you need for yourself, and you've got to be an advocate for your own self, especially in your health and healing. And so finally, the spiritual activation is integration. I love it. And the message here says, the frequency of integration supports our embrace of every aspect of ourselves, allowing what we perceive perception, there it is again, as positive and what we perceive as negative to harmonize in a balanced symphony of life. There's that color again. So those of you who chose this pile, physically, I would work with the heart chakra, the solar plexus, and the sacral chakra. So I'm sorry, I was just thinking. The sacral chakra and the sacral and the solar plexus chakra are the masculine chakras, as well as the root. The heart chakra is the balance of the masculine and feminine, and then the throat, the third eye, and the crown are feminine chakras. So I feel like this is the masculine part of balance and taking action and getting things done. And that's why I say, like, what are you in denial about? Do you think you have all this free time, but you really have a million things that you have to do? What is your perception? Are you looking at things in a negative way? Could you be looking at them in the positive? Again, sitting with these words, positive words, feeling them in your body. And when you feel that word, it's just magnetic, just being lit up. I feel magnetic, or I feel beautiful, or I feel strong. Pausing in those moments. And you may not feel those moments in meditation. You might feel them throughout the day. When you're self-aware, when I feel those feelings, I'm saying, yes, God, more of this in my life, or something even better. It's a proactive way to help with your own physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. I'm sorry, I was just thinking, I'm thinking about this word integration. I feel like one of the messages is the universe is about to integrate all aspects of your life. Friends, family, career, health, self, personal. And there's this integration of harmony where everything is not so separate. So this may pertain to a lot of different areas of your life. Wow, that was good. All right. So those of you who chose pile number 2, thank you for watching. If you haven't watched my weekly Sunday reading, which was heavily about the sacral chakra, we go more into the sacral chakra in that. Skip ahead to the end of this video, and on the screen there'll be a link to my recent Sunday reading. If you have watched this video and you're thinking of somebody that you love that could really benefit from the messages, please share. And I thank you so much for watching. Okay. For those of you who chose pile number 3, welcome. Let's begin. I think this is going to be a busy one. We got extra cards. So we got 2 cards for Raphael. Interesting. So the first card that came out for Raphael for physical health and overall health is hydration. Love it. It says, Dear Archangel Raphael, thank you for motivating and guiding me to drink more water so that my health, energy, and appetite stay at optimal levels throughout the day. This has to be something that is a habit. I know people who carry around gallons of water. I always have extra water bottles, so I love my soda stream, and I just drink plain carbonated water, and I always have extra bottles. So when I'm thirsty, I'll go right in, pull out the bottle, carbonate it up, and I'm drinking it all day. So find things that work for you, and even hydration. I'm thinking your physical body as well. If you're feeling dry or dehydrated, I'm also feeling guided to tell you, like, to maybe get out to the ocean or get in a pool, a bath with some Epsom salts if you're guided, a nice shower, maybe spending extra time in the shower. Water is very cleansing. So I feel like some of you who chose pile number 3 there may be this energy of like detox or cleansing right now, and Archangel Raphael is guiding you to hydrate your body. Just not necessarily even getting in the water, sometimes being by the water, listening to the ocean on a sound machine, or going into YouTube and listening to the water and the waves, whether it's a river, whether it's something of flowing water. I'm feeling guided to share that with you as well. And interesting too, Archangel Raphael also came out with the acceptance card. So it says, "Dear God and Archangel Raphael, please help me accept that everything is going in the right direction." Interesting. So I'm guided to say too, if you think about water, maybe some of you right now are physically tired and drained because you're paddling upstream. And so it's not always necessarily helpful energetically to listen to that critic within that says you've got to let go, get over, and move on. I've got to let it go, or I've got to stop doing this, or I've got to stop doing that, or here I am again. And I feel like Archangel Raphael is saying, if you can sit with and meditate with the word acceptance, and if you can get to that place of accepting where you're at right now, you may not like it, it might not be the ideal place, maybe you're passing through this space right now, but if you can settle into the word of acceptance, I accept that this is where I'm at right now, but from here, I can take action to move forward one step at a time. And I feel like getting back to basics of hydration. Put the paddles down. Maybe some of you are really energetically exhausted. You're depleted, you're drained. You're paddling up streams, you're fighting things, you're trying to force things to happen that aren't working for you anymore. And I feel like Raphael is guiding you to put the oars down, turn the boat down, and go with the flow. So it makes sense why I was guided to talk about like water and listening to water and flow and movement. I'm feeling like maybe some of you will eventually need to get moving again, moving in the right direction. There's something that's really amazing of just being able to flow on a river and just follow the stream down. There's a lot of ease with it. So maybe some of you meditating on that, imagining yourself. If you're feeling drained and depleted, chances are you're fighting something. Chances are you're forcing something, or you're not accepting where you're at, that it may be time for change. It may be something, and this is a reading for health and healing. So it could be physical, but it could also be actions and things that are going in your life, trying to force things to work out, and they're just not working. I'm really great for throwing up the white flag and saying, okay, I surrender, not necessarily give up, but I surrender into the understanding that this is not working right now, pulling back and leaving it in the hands of God and the angels. So I cannot stress enough where the universe is saying, accept that where you're at right now may or may not be working. You may be fighting against the current. And God is saying, take that meditation, imagine yourself sitting on a raft in a beautiful lake or river view somewhere, and you're just floating and allowing the river or the water to take you. I love it. And it can be fun too. If you think about going to the ocean and playing in the waves, that can be really fun too. Jumping in the waves, riding the waves, things like that. I feel like that's really the theme for this pile number 3 so far. So let's see what the chakra is. Interesting, mysticism. So mysticism, this is the third eye. The third eye, oh, I get it. I get it. So I love when everything starts to unfold. So third eye is your insight. It is your intuition. It is like, it's where you'll see the visual or the feeling and knowing. And the best way to understand how that works is recalling a memory. So maybe you're sitting in your living room right now, or maybe you're sitting somewhere watching this, and if you can recall like what your bedroom looks like, or if if you're not in your kitchen, if you can just bring to mind what your kitchen looks like and what your plates and your dishes look like without actually looking at them. If you can bring to mind and recall what your bedding looks like, or what your pillows look like, or what your bedroom floor looks like, your mind is going to bring up these images, these thoughts, and these feelings. That is really the simplicity of intuition. And so spirit and the divine speak to you through your master glands, your thalamus, your hypothalamus, your pituitary, your pineal glands. That's how your brain is working, and they're sending radar and decoder messages to your heart, right? Because your heart is the filter of this unconditional love energy. So I feel like the message is right now is, if you're feeling stuck or you're feeling tired and drained and it's too much and things aren't working for you and you're not happy where you're at, I feel like the water energy is coming up, and like drop the paddles, drop the fighting, and just kind of surrender into, lean into, and go with the flow. When you're in that energy of feeling peace and relaxation in your body, that is when your intuition can speak to you. It's the repetitive thoughts over and over and over again. And for some of you, I'm feeling like that energy of releasing, taking a few deep breaths, and allowing just going over to the sink and turning on the water and allowing that to flow can give you the visual of what it's like. That water coming out of your sink is only going one way. And if you try to stop that, what's going to happen? You're going to end up with water all over the place. So I feel like this is a message for some of you that your intuition is trying to talk to you, is trying to tell you things, and you may not be hearing it because it's almost like that tunnel vision, and that focus is like this one way. It has to be this one way. So going into the place of acceptance. Again, if you're feeling depleted and drained physically, drink your water. Your water hydrates your body. Water is very cleansing, clearing, and purifying. And water is also very psychic, very intuitive. So, those people who are water signs out there are more intuitive and more psychic because they have that energy. So maybe sometimes if you're struggling with answers, get by the water and meditate and sit with the water, and you'd be surprised at how quickly and easily answers come for guidance and next steps. All right, so the emotional healing, empathy. And again, here's that color again. I feel like this is crown chakra energy. So, and then we also have root, the top and bottom, crown and root. So the message here says, I am open to seeing both sides of a situation. Interesting. So as we're talking about taking time to pause and reflect, I feel like the message is have empathy. Everybody is going through something. Everybody's having experiences. Now, that does not necessarily mean having empathy means take people's abuse and their dumping on you, and then that's what I'm not saying. I'm saying pull back and understand that everybody is going through something, and it's their own health and healing. It makes me think of Don Miguel Ruiz's not to take anything personal and be kind to your neighbor, and don't make assumptions and things like that. I feel like that could be something that you could sit with as well. If you're trying so hard and it's not working out, pause, pull out, see things from a higher perspective. Go into your third eye and your crown chakra. Go to God. And I feel like that's what this message is. It's the upper chakras. The other readings were lower chakras, but I'm feeling like this one is the upper chakras. This is spiritual insight, divine guidance, support. For those of you who are feeling blocked, or you're feeling tired, you're feeling like you're paddling against the current. Again, think about when somebody is caught in a current in the ocean. They say never to fight it, never try to stay in the current and fight and try to come in. They say flip over and try to backstroke or paddle your way out of the current. And I feel like that's the images that I keep getting right now. It's like you're sucked into the current. This could be other people's stuff too, and you're getting sucked in, and you're feeling like you're trying so hard and it's not working, and you yourself is getting depleted and drained. So have empathy, saying, hey, you know what, this is the space that they're in, or this is the space that the situation is in. I am going to paddle out and away from it. And when you get out of that current, when you get out of that, it's like that trap that's going to drain you, you have so much more clarity because you're not in fight and flight mode anymore. So I feel like the universe is saying, take a time out and break. You have the power to problem solve and come up with the answers. It is in your intuition, and it is in your crown chakra, and it is with God and your faith and trusting and giving the universe permission to come in. Have empathy for other people. But again, that does not mean that you have to be a punching bag, or you have to be physically or emotionally or mentally, or that does not mean that if people are projecting their stuff on you and in your heart it's not truth, that doesn't mean that you have to own it and you have to take it. There's a lot of that happening right now, and and nobody are bad people. I just think it's the energy that people get sucked into, and that's the world. So if you can see it from that perspective, and I thank God all the time that I'm in a different space. I thank God all the time for my intuition and my awareness and my knowing, even when I'm not feeling, I'm in my intuition and knowing. It's funny, as I look at that, I just saw the clock and it was 5444, which is change, and it means angels. Hundreds of thousands of angels are with you. Ask them anything. So for the mental, surrender to your soul's path. I love it. And of course, here's the water again flowing. Yep, there it is. And so the message of this card says, your life's journey has been perfectly designed for your soul's growth. Embrace every lesson in every moment. I just feel like I want to say everything is happening for a reason. And I know that's so cliche, and I know people are so sick and tired of hearing it because it's overused. But you're in a space right now where I feel like it's time to pause, stop fighting what's not working anymore, stop fighting trying to make something happen. I know you may have put time and energy and effort into something, but maybe it had nothing to do with the completion of it, or had nothing to do with the advancement of it and everything that you've learned up until this point. So surrender to your soul's path. And again, I cannot stress enough, crown chakra, third eye, heart chakra. Heart chakra is, your joy, it's your pleasure, it's your unconditional love energy, and you really got to be open into receiving that from the divine. It says your life's journey has been perfectly designed for your soul's growth. So this may be a reading for some of you who have to shift gears. If you're physically tired and you're drained, the 3 also too for me reminds me of ascended masters, calling in the ascended masters and guides. So you may be guided right now to be calling in your divine team, whatever that is for you. Archangel Raphael, Archangel Michael, he's the angel of protection. His job is to oversee the light beings of the planet. So surrender to your soul's path, that it may be time to shift gears, go with the flow. And again, it could be a beautiful flow and not necessarily chaotic, like being lost or stuck in a current. All right, and the activation cards, I have 2. Ooh, I love it. So of course we pull Earth, and Earth is where the water is, right? More validation. So the message for Earth, these cards are for like activating for you spiritually. So the message says the frequency of Earth activates our deep connection to the physical plane by showing us the beauty of all the aspects of our great mother and revealing the more ethereal spiritual aspects of our nature. So I feel like this message is also saying, get out in nature. Get out in nature. That's where you're going to connect with your third eye, your intuition, your crown chakra, deep breaths. Surrender into your soul's path. You may not know what that is. And surrender into being open to receive guidance. And the next thing you know, you'll be in your thing. And again, your soul's path doesn't always have to be work. It could be your own health and healing, and maybe that's what you're here for. Maybe you're here to be a beacon of light for other people, and right now people are taking advantage of that. So I cannot stress enough that For those of you who picked pile 3, I'm really feeling guided for you to get outside. Get outside, be with nature. You'd be surprised how your upper chakras balance and how you get your own guidance instead of really going to other people for guidance and answers, because really people are coming from their own perspectives. And it's really great to have support. I love that. But I always weigh that support with my own intuition, and I just kind of put it all together. And so the last card here that was chosen is magic. And we have the number 31 here, and 3 + 1 = 4, which is also an angel number. So call on the angels, call on the divine for assistance. And the message says, the frequency of magic supports our intrinsic ability to grow and expand beyond this moment and move toward possibilities and expressions that are as grand and profound as we can imagine. All that is required is our belief in their manifestation. I love it. And there's that color again. There is the third eye. There is the crown chakra energy. So meditate. And if meditation is a hard thing for you, listen to your thoughts, listen to what's on your mind, because you could be problem solving in that moment as well. So surrender into the magic of all that is. Surrender, releasing the control, trying to force and make things happen. Surrender into the idea that there's magic all around you, and it's beautiful and amazing. Shift your perspective and look at all the things that are growing in the world. Instead of focusing your energy on what's not working and all the bad things, focus on what is working and all the good things that are happening in the world. Really, I'm also feeling guided to really be mindful of what you let in your inner circle and in your vibration. TV, music, social media, people, ideas, energy, really, especially because we're on the cusp of the full moon here in this August week. And it's a time to release. It's time to surrender and allow things to flush out of your life. And when you do that, you're open to, your energy elevates, and you're open to see the magic of the planet. I mean, I've been seeing so many numbers and orange cars and so many signs, and it really has been absolutely amazing. And I've been loving it. And I just giggle and laugh. And, I got my challenges too, and I got things that have come up, and I got things that are overwhelming, and I just feel it in my body, and I just call on God and ask for his assistance. And then I'll go out and I'll get on the road and I'll see all the signs, all the numbers, and I can't help but giggle. And I'm like, I know, God, I get it. You have my back. Thank you so much for showing up. I love you so much. So I am going to finish on that note. So those of you who chose pile number 3, thank you for watching. And I would like to ask that if you have watched these readings and you feel like there's somebody in your life that you love or you care about that could resonate with them, please share this with them. At the end of the video, there's my subscribe button. And also too, if you have not watched my Sunday card reading, I talk a lot about the sacral chakra and joy. It was a really powerful reading. And so at the end of this video on the screen, I'll have a link to that. You can just click that. Super easy. All right. Thank you so much for watching. And I'm going to close space for the collective, thanking all the guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, God source, creator of the universe, and all his holy beings of light that assisted with this guidance for you today for your health and healing. I want to thank Archangel Raphael for his assistance with these messages for you. And I'm going to ask that any healing that was started continue for as long as it needs to be done. In mind, body, spirit, and emotions in all ways. All right, friends. So if you have not heard it today, or nobody's told you in a while, I love you. God loves you so much. Trust in the divine. Trust your intuition. And I send you love with heavenly hugs. Bye for now.